Okay, so right, listen. So it seems a lot of you are having problems in accessing your company files that you have saved here. Is that so? I mean, in the SAP servers, those who have saved your company files in your campus servers, do you have any problems with that? Okay, so we'll do it this way. Okay. Now listen. Right. We do this way. And now for you, if you are missing your company file, that is purely your responsibility because I told you to keep it with your email or WhatsApp or whatever your personal backup procedures I asked you to use, not to keep in these computers because these are, I mean, many people are using these computers, so anyone can just log in and delete any stuff, right? Therefore, for that I can't do anything, but anyway I have to continue the lecture. Therefore, I'll open my company file for all of you. So for all of you, right? I'll open my company file for all of you. Now please download that company file and then we'll continue. Otherwise, it's unfair for others, those who are using your own company file, because this company file will have to be submitted as the continuous assignment, right? Therefore, if others are using their own company files, any previous errors will have an impact on the future transactions. Therefore, shall we all download the company file I'm allowing here, right? I'll be allowing you to access the company file you have created. Then we'll continue in a couple of weeks. I'll ask you to make a submission. Okay. All right. So I'll take the transactions up only after this week for the second submission, right? So we'll do it that way. Right, so you all can refresh the LMS page and then you will see this company file, SAP Cricket Private Limited, supplier cards added. Just check whether you can see the company file, download that company file and then you can rename with your student number. Because hereafter you'll be continuing this as your company file. Now better take this company file and continue because in that company file there will be errors, some errors that you have done previously. So better everyone is using the same platform, then I can evaluate fairly in the next submissions because all are using the same company file, so I can only evaluate the part you are completing in this. Just check me. Oh, okay. ඒක විතරයි නේද available වලට. Refresh करो. Right, I hope you all have got the company file and then your right, so let me open my company file. Take that company file and rename it, okay, with your student number. Otherwise, thereafter, all the company files will be the same name when you submit it. So, up to now, we have completed in our company file. Up to now, we have completed a number of steps that makes it available for us to record transactions, right? Just to recall what we have done. After creating the company file, okay, we modified the tax codes, we modified the accounts, right? We modified the entire account sheet, and then we entered a few transactions that are made through cash and bank, all right? And then we started the main purchasing process because we looked at the main business operation. So that operation has 3 steps. The first step is purchasing, the input side. Then you have your manufacturing or the operation within the company. And then you have the output side, that is the sales, right? So this process we have to follow. When following this process, the first step we have to complete is the purchasing, right? We call that the purchasing cycle. When we are looking at the purchasing cycle, we discussed last week actually. What is the procedure we all have to follow, right? You identify the need of your items and inventory, and then you look for suppliers, right? Once you look for suppliers, once you identify a list of suppliers, you call for quotations from those suppliers. Once you call for quotations, you check the quotations and identify who are the suitable suppliers. And after identifying the suitable suppliers, you place the purchase order, right? To place the purchase order. Once you place the purchase order, supplier will send you the goods along with the invoice, right? When you receive the invoice, that becomes the purchase invoice, and that is the place where you start the accounting treatment, right? But from the quotation to the purchase order, we can record them in the system, in the software. But the point where you start recognizing it as an accounting entry is the invoice, right? Hope you can remember the advanced level accounting. The starting point of accounting is the source document. From the source document, then you enter into the journal, right? So invoice is the place where you start it, and then after receiving the invoice, what your stores will do is they will check the goods along with, and then they'll cross check it with the invoice, and they will receive a goods received notice (GRN), right? When they receive the GRN, after that confirmation, what we do for the supplier? No. Once we receive the GRN from the stores, we make the payment to the supplier, right? Because we are sure that goods are okay. We make the payment. Within this process, there can be some, that is the happy part. That is the right path of happening the transaction. But there can be certain special cases that occur. One may be not sending certain items that we ordered, right? Not delivering certain items that we ordered. In that case, we will have to place another order. We call that reordering or back ordering, right? Back ordering. When we do not receive something we ordered, we back order, we reorder, right? Back order is the name used in MyOB. In general practice, we call that reordering. You may have heard in organizations that reorder this item, right? And there's another incident. You receive the goods, and once you check the goods, you find some what we call that maybe unexpected items, or maybe damaged items, or whatever it is, right? Different than your requirement. Then what you will do is you will return them. That is called purchase returns. Right? These are the special two cases that can happen in the process that will disturb the process, but those are also accounting entries, right? So in that process, we started that process actually last week. In that process, we wanted the suppliers. We identified our need. We are a cricket club. As a cricket club, we need some cricket items and equipments, and also we have some services. And for that, we need suppliers, right? Therefore, we identified a list of suppliers, and we entered those suppliers in MyOB. Hope you can see the screen. We entered those suppliers in MyOB. When we are entering any party that we are dealing with, those are known as cards in MyOB, right? So we call that creation of supplier cards. Right? We created supplier cards. How many cards? Supplier cards we created? About 7. Can you remember we created supplier cards? Right. Then now our company has identified suppliers. After that, what we do, we can call for quotations now, right? For us to call for quotations, we need to have the items list. right? What are the items we are going to call for quotations? Do you agree? We need to have a list of items for which we call for quotation, right? Then today we are going to develop that list of items we are going to deal with. I mean, we are going to buy those items, we are going to sell those items, and we are going to deal with those items, right? This item list can be in different lengths depending on the industry. Right? For example, if you take a very, industrial type of a business, you will have a very short list of items, right? Very specific industry, if you take, you will have a very short list. But if you take a very general consumer level FMCG type of an industry, your list will be lengthy. For example, if you take the items list in a supermarket, right? Items list of a supermarket. Under different categories, you will have thousands of items. When you go into supermarket, you will see how many items are there and how many categories are there. Right on the top of the shelves, you can see there's a board. Here you have cosmetics. Here you have what we call milk powder and something stuff. And here you have what the baby products like that. You will have different categories. Under that, you will have hundreds of items, right? Under different brands. So depending on the industry, your list of items will be different. Okay. Now we have to look at a cricket club. We have a cricket club, right? We are having a big, building. We have built it, and now we are going to buy and sell certain items within that facility, right? So, what type of things you think usually we will have in a cricket cricket equipment? So, accessories outside. They are going to do that, right? Do that business, retail business. What type of things do we have usually? In a cricket business, what type of things you can sell? Yeah, gloves, cricket pads, and bats, balls, leather, whatever it is, right? You can have cricket shoes, maybe cricket bags. අර දාගෙන යන පේන්නත් එක්ක සමහර දැකලා කොල්ලෝ එහෙම දාගෙන යනවා. එයා ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරනවා කියලා පේන්න ටිකක් ලොකුවට යටත් වැඩි ලොකුවට බෑග් එක. So those are the items that a cricket club can sell. Okay. Now we are going to build that items list. If you are writing down notes, your topic today is then items list, building the items list. Okay. Building the items list. Right. So, for that purpose, right, for creating or building the items list, the function the command center we are using is inventory, right? Your path is inventory command center, right? And then I want you to click the items list function, items list, inventory command center, items list. Okay. So in this, you can see there are 4 tabs. There are 4 tabs on the top. All items, sold items, bought items, and inventory items. All right. When we are looking at, let me ask you 2 questions. So with that, you will be very clear of what type of items should come here. Right. Last week also, I think we asked this. Anyone working for a bank? Someone working for a bank? There was a girl working for a bank. You're working for a bank. What are the products you offer? What are your products? No, they are having products, but you don't have any physical existence of those, right? When you go to a bank and asking for a loan, they will give you money, but the loan, the product loan is not physical, right? The product, gold loan, let's say, or phone service, it's not physical. The service is not physical, but still it's a product, right? So when you are identifying the item, you have to identify that in that broader sense. You can have items that can be goods or services, right? Your items can be goods or services. For example, if you take a saloon, now there is a nice, a paper that we have discussed. I think even you will get a similar paper. In a particular time, I wanted to develop a case study for this. Now, for this MyOB, for me to develop a particular case study, I have to search for industries, different industries. When I was looking for those industries, once I got a saloon. Saloon is the company. So I don't know what are the products they have. So I had to do a little bit of research to ask from my wife what are the products they consider, because as boys, what you know is cutting your hair, that's it, the product. But there are a lot of products, right? So they are also items in a salon, right? So you have this threading, manicure, pedicure, all this I studied with that, right? A lot of stuff are there apart from cutting your hair, right? Bonding, what else? Keratin, not creating keratin or something. Yeah, a lot of stuff. Then all those are items, products that they offer, right? Then the thing is, some of those products, let me come it this way. Tell me the difference between goods and services. You learned in advanced level. The difference between a good and a service. Yeah. Yeah. Goods can be separatable from the provider. Services cannot be separatable from the provider. Any other? Yeah. Tangible and intangible. You can touch and feel the product, but you can't touch and feel the service. Right? Yeah. So you can't store, right? You can't store the service. You can store the product, right? You can't inventory there, right? This lectures is a service. You can record the video, but still you can't keep this live lecture stored somewhere, right? That the exact version you can't store it. So you can't store it. That's good. And the other thing is, in many cases, the service, we pay the service provider, that is true. But service as a service, you can't buy, right? For example, in the saloon case, you can't just buy a manicure and sell it, right? You can't just buy anything, haircut and sell it to the customer, right? You pay for your employee, that is true, right? But when the client comes, there's nothing you're selling that you bought. You are having that capability and you are providing the service, right? That nature is also there. You can't buy, you are not buying them. You are not inventorying them, but you are selling it, right? It's an item. Okay. If you take a physical good, then you have to buy them. If you are buying them, and if it takes time to sell, then of course you have to inventory them, and then you have to sell, right? So that is the starting point. I mean, that is the base you have to understand when designing your items list, right? Here, this table clearly reflects that understanding. You can see all items means all the items will appear in this list, right? But you have one category called sold. That means the items you are selling, right? Whatever the item you are having in your items list will be coming under the selling, sold tab. The reason is you are having that item because you are selling it, right? If you are having an item that you don't sell, I don't think that item should be there in your list, right? Whatever the item you are having, you are selling. Therefore, sold will contain all the items. But if there are services, they may not appear under the bought tab. As I told you, some services you don't buy the service, right? So it won't come under the bought. And the last one is inventory. Services, you can't inventory. then the service item will be there, but it will not appear in the inventory column, right? So this is the table and this is the list of your items. At the moment, you don't have any because you have not entered any of the items, right? So we are going to create the first item using this button. At the bottom, you can see there's a button called new, right? There's a button new. Click on that button. So that will give you an interface to create a new item. Okay. You can see there is only one field is active, that is item number. Okay. Item number field is active. Then there are a lot of other information, but all those are, hidden. They are not active. The reason is without an item number, you can't enter any, you can't create an item or you can't enter any other information. The first of prerequisite is you have to have an item number. Okay. So for you to enter this information, there is a document you have to refer that is available in the LMS under week 7. That is the items list set, right? Yeah. You can see there is a document called items list. Right. Okay. Look at this. Now this document contains the entire items list of your organization, right? That private limited. Look at the first type of item. These are service items. As I told you, the company is offering some services. Cricket club is offering some services. So those are also coming under your items, right? Look at the first type of item, that is cricket lessons. Right? The owner, your owners are offering the cricket lessons to people. There are two varieties of cricket lessons. One is individual lessons and the other is group lessons. Okay. For individual lesson, there is a rate given, rate per hour, inclusive of that, 500 rupees. These are just nominal numbers just for your learning, right? Then there is an item number. There's an item number that has a number of letters, SLSIND. Okay. When you are entering these item numbers, we call that alphanumeric numbering system is used. Alphanumeric means you can have both numbers and letters, right? You can use both numbers and letters, but in this case, we have used only letters, not numbers. In a real company, sometimes when your item list is so lengthy, you will have to use numbers. The same product, there can be varieties. Then you can have 101, 02, 03, likewise. There can be different categories, right? In different qualities, you will have different categories. The numbering mechanism, when you are entering a number, item, code, there should be a meaning behind it. Just like you are having a meaning for your course code. Your course code, there's a meaning, right? The first is the year, first number is the year, then you have the semester, then the sequential order of within that semester of that subject, and the last number is the number of credit, right? So you should be able to read that code, right? Similarly, when you are having an item number, you should be able to read that item number, right? Now look at this. In this case, we have divided all our items into 3 categories. One type is service items or services, then the raw material items, and then the inventory items. Services are the pure services we offer. Raw material items are the items that we use to offer a service, right? Items we use to offer a service. Inventory items are the items that we just buy and sell as it. Right? There are 3 types. Then, when you are looking at this item code, okay, the first block, first character is this wide or broad nature of the item, whether it's a service item, raw material item, or inventory item. By looking at this item number, you can see it is starting with S, letter S. The meaning is this is a service. Okay. Or both of them are services. That's why it's starting with S. Then the second block, it is the specific type of service, right? For example, not the specific type of service, the broad category of service. If you take the next two digits is LS, the meaning is lessons, right? It's just an abbreviation just created for lessons, LS, that we know. And then the final block of alpha characters that says the specific good or service you offer. If you take individual lessons, IND is for individual, right? In the group lessons, the GRP is to denote the group lessons. GRP, right? So these are just numbers, I mean letters we have picked. When you are generating your own items, now for these codes you have to use this, right? For these items you have to use this document. But at the examination, if you are given the item number, it's okay. If you are not given the item number, if item creation is given as a story, you have to develop this item number. When you are developing, develop it meaningfully. Right? Like it can be any letter you use, but there should be a meaning. Okay. Now, that is how this item number is created, right? So you should be able to read this first item number. SLSIND means it's a service and it's a lesson and individual, right? Is that clear? Right. So we will take this first item. We are now going to create the individual lessons as the item. So I take this item number. Even I can remember that because there's a meaning in it. Here, the first item number I have to enter service LSIND. So I enter the item number. Okay. The item number I entered as SLSIND. Okay. Then you can press the tab key and you can see the other fields are active now. The name of the item you have to enter, it's individual lesson. Second block is individual lessons. All right, it's individual lessons. And then there are three I mean, in front of that, there is a tick checkbox called inactive item, right? Don't tick on that because that button is there to inactive a particular item if you do not deal with that item, you don't do any transactions with that item, right? Then in the search option, this item will disappear, but it will be available in the list, but it will not appear in the search options, right? Because when you are operating as a business, there can be items just coming and disappearing in the market. So those items, it's not worth to keep them in the search options. I think appearing them, it's no use of it, but you can't delete them also. You can't delete them because you have historical transactions recorded on them, right? In accounting, in systems, we should not delete suppliers or historical suppliers or items or whatever, right? Therefore, you can inactive if you are not using in the future. But since this is the first one, we will not inactive that. Then there are another three options to tick. I buy this item, I sell this item, and I inventory this item, right? Now tell me, based on our previous discussion, this is an individual lesson. It's going to be a service, right? What options should we take? I sell this item, obvious, right? I sell it. If I'm not selling it, there's no point of having it. I sell this. What else? Do I buy this item? As I told you, because lesson. You can hire a person, right? But you can't buy the lesson, right? The lesson you can't buy. All right. So I can't buy that item. If I can't buy anyway, I can't inventory that item, right? I inventory this item, I can't. Then when you select I sell this item, you can see in front of that, there is an account you have to specify. Income account for tracking sale. Right? When you are making a sale of this nature, what is the income account you are supposed to credit? Right? Then there's a drop down in front of it, drop down arrow, click on that and look for a suitable income account. Right? Look for a suitable income account under income account. You can see left side you have the name of the account and right side you have the category of the account, right? In the list. So from that, you just go and see what are how many accounts are there under the income category. Here you can see under income category, you have cricket lessons income, equipment hire income, equipment sales income, ground fee income, and repair fee income. So many income accounts. So what is the account we should select? The first one, right? Cricket lessons income. Why you have number of accounts? Because then you can separately analyze how much of income I have received from lessons for repair fees, all that. Generally, a business needs this analysis, right? Otherwise, all this will be counted as your sales revenue as one line. But better to have separate account practically to track how much of revenue you have earned from each of the source, right? So you select that and click on use account, right? So that is selected. Then that is the profile tab. Okay, here you can see there you have number of tabs. So the profile tab is complete, and then second tab is item details. That doesn't have any link to accounting, but if you want to have a picture of this particular item, right? Since this is service, there's no point of having a photo, a picture. But if it's an item, there can be certain items by the name you can't identify. In certain industries, there are products you don't identify that by the name, right? Anyway, the accountant may not be sometimes an expert, a technical expert of that all the little items, especially in engineering side of stuff. Then better to have a photo of it, this type of item this is, and then you can have a small description if you want, right? Here we are not going to include that. Then you can see buying details tab is inactive. Buying details tab is inactive because we are not buying this, because we have not ticked that, right? Then if you go to the selling details, in the selling details you can see a few information you have to enter. Base selling price. So what is the base selling price? 500 rupees here, right? Put that 500. And then selling unit of measure, right? Selling unit of measure is what is the unit that you call when you're selling. This is hour, right? The rate is this 500 is hourly. Okay. So I mention it as hour. This is a reference. Okay, this is a reference. So per hour it's 500. And then the tax code when sold. What is the tax code? It was given, right? I want you to refer to the document here. Inclusive of VAT, right? Inclusive of VAT. So you have to mention the tax code as VAT. And then there is a button there's a checkbox to select. Prices are tax inclusive. Yes, check that. Okay. Tick that checkbox. And then calculate sales tax on actual selling price, or you are given another option, base selling price. Right? What is the most suitable option to select? Base selling price is the selling price you have mentioned here, 500. The base selling price. If you are selling it actually, if you are selling at a different price, should we consider that to calculate the VAT, or should we just still calculate VAT based on the base selling price? What are the pros and cons of it? Actual selling price is more practical. So we will keep it. The reason, let me give you one example. Your base selling price is 500, right? Then you are giving a serious discount to a friend and you are selling it at 300, right? Still your VAT will be calculated at 500. And again, you have to remit that tax to the tax authorities later. On temporary basis, you are holding more unnecessary of more cash, right? You are holding more responsibility, and which is unnecessary also. And the other thing is, if you are selling now, you are selling it at 500, suddenly you get an opportunity to sell it at 700, right? So still you are charging tax on 500. Then the rest you have to pay from your pocket, right? So that is risky also on that side. And now in the Sri Lankan context, you never know when a black market will be created for a product, right? Whatever the disaster happens, some product will have a black market, right? We have experienced that. Therefore, anyway, the accurate way is having the actual selling price. So whatever price you are selling it, at that price you will be taxed. right? That will be calculated and complete burden is transferred to the customer. That is the plan, right? Here you are not playing with the burden to yourself. You are transferring the burden to the customer, right? So those are information to fill, and the history tab will have a comparison of every month. Actually, the sales you made of this particular item in every month, right? In every month, how much of sale you have made in this particular item. So you can have a small a trend analysis. In a particular month, there's high sale, then in another month, there's low sale. Like that, you can have a comparison with that. At the moment, you don't have that. So those are information to enter. And then you can click OK. Okay. Then you can click OK. Right. So we have created the first item. It's a service item. Then you can go to these tabs and see under soil tab, you can see that item, right? Under the soil tab, you can see that item. Under boat tab, you can't see that item. That item is not there. Okay. Under inventory item, you can't see that item because you are not inventorying. Okay. With that understanding, shall we create the group lessons item? Okay. We will create the group lessons item. Click on the new button. Right. Now, even without looking at the document, you can enter the code, right? Item number, because you know it's a service and you know it's lesson and it's group, GRP. Service, lesson, group. Okay. Right. Then when you are creating, now let me give you an easy option when you are creating items of similar type. Now, if you look at these two items, this item, group lesson, this is exactly very much similar to the previous item you created. The only difference is the price per hour, right? The only difference is the price per hour. The nature is the same. Selling unit of measure is the hour. A lot of things are similar. Even the income account is the same, right? So in that case, the easy option is to copy from your previous item. Copy those details from the previous item. For that, there is an option given. You can see at the bottom left-hand corner, there's a button called copy from. See? You see that? So click on that copy from button. Then it will give you a message. If you have selected any other options, these will be disappeared. But you have not selected anything. Click OK. And then you have to pick an item from which you are copying from. Right? What is the item you are copying from? You are copying from the individual lessons. Right? You are creating the group lessons. Then you are copying the settings from the individual lessons. Right? So select the individual lessons and click on use item. Then you can see the income account is selected accordingly. And then you can go to the selling details directly. You can see those settings are also copied from the individual, right? Individual lessons. The only thing you have to change is the price. Right? For the group lesson, since it's a group, from one person, you are charging only 250. So make it 250. That's it. All right. You could have done this from the beginning. I mean, continuously manually also. You select the income account, again pick that. Automatically sometimes it will be filled, but still you have to check whether it's correct, and then you have to enter the prices and everything. But you pick the easy path, convenient path, you selected. Okay, copy it from there. This is more convenient when you are in a real situation, when you are entering list of thousands of items in the same nature. Right? You have to just copy from a previous and just modify the required items. Right. Then click OK. All right. We created the two service items. Is that clear? Right. Then, right. So here, there are three more item category 2 ground hire charges. Okay, ground hire charges here again you can see those are against service items, ground hire, right? You are hiring the ground, so that is also service. Now we are going to create those items. We will see how these items will be created. Let me create the first item. New. I take this item number. I hope now you can read this item number. Okay. SC is for service. GH is for ground hire, and then SM is for school matches. Right. And I sell this item. Then you can see the previous account is by default it's filled. Right. But is it the suitable account? Now that was a lessons income. Now this is ground hire income. Right. So you have to use the drop down arrow and change the income account. There is an account called ground fee income. Here. There is an account called ground fee income. Select that account as income account. All right. Then selling details. 1,500. There is no any specific information mentioned. If you can remember, at the company creation phase, we learned we are charging a fixed fee for matches. We are charging a fixed fee for a match, right? Therefore, 1,500 you can enter as the price, right? The selling unit of measure is match. Right? The match. Then you can see it's inclusive of VAT. The meaning is tax is VAT and it is inclusive, right? It should be there. So if those information are correct, then you can click OK. So school matches service item is created. So the same way shall we create the other two? So I'm creating the day and night matches. When I'm then I can copy from the other match, right? I can copy from the school matches. And then the income account will be correct. And in the selling details, the only thing I have to change is the rate, 5,000. Yeah. When you're copying from the school matches, it will automatically be there. Yeah. All right. Did you grade all three? Okay. Right. Then now there is another small technical thing you have to understand when you are writing the names of an item. Here in a nice table, you are given all the details, right? The name of the item, price, and the code all are given. Very simple, right? But when this is a practical scenario, no one will come and tell you, table make a no one will come and tell you. You will have a story, you will have documents. You have to pick how to enter this information, right? When you are entering this information, when you are creating your own items, naming the items needs to follow a format for a reason, right? That is what given here, naming as naming the item, right? You can see there is a product called, now let's say there's a product, which is a cricket shoe. Okay? Now listen to this carefully, otherwise you won't understand the reason. There's a product which is a cricket shoe. The brand is Puma, and the specific type is style is platinum convertible. Right? Platinum convertible is the specific type of that shoe. Now, if you enter, when you're entering the name of that item, if you enter that as cricket shoe Puma platinum convertible, right? That way also you can enter, no? But there's a problem. Here it says, do not use that approach. Looking couple of things you can see. You are not recommended to use that approach. Start with the specific type, platinum convertible Puma cricket shoe, right? So you should start with the product name, then the brand name, and then the broader product type, right? Why is that? That is the question. Right? Not because it says in the tute. There should be a reason for that. The reason is when you're searching for these items in your invoices or whatever, invoices, document, when you're searching these items, you will be, you are having the autofill option where you type half of it, it will automatically pop up. I mean, it will automatically fill, right? Then if you use the wrong approach, I mean the cricket shoe, you enter the cricket shoe, then hundreds of items will appear because there are hundreds of cricket shoes, right? Then again you continue typing cricket shoe Puma. Again under the Puma brand, you will have another list of cricket shoes. Then again you are typing the platinum convertible. Then there's no point of easy fill. You have anyway typed the entire name of the item. Do you understand? You have typed the entire name of the item. No point of the easy fill option. Nothing to easy fill. You have filled it, right? But when you enter the specific name, platinum convertible, there won't be a leather gloves called platinum convertible. There won't be a bat called platinum convertible, right? The moment you enter the specific type, there will be one item appearing. Platinum convertible, automatically the only item, or at least the few items will be shortlisted, sorted. Right? Do you understand? Is that clear? Then it is easier for you to work with those items. Right? Because when you are working with systems, you have to make sure it's user friendly and it's convenient. It doesn't consume a lot of time. Right? That is why you have used that approach. That is why the matches, 3 matches, have not started as match school, right? Match school cricket or whatever. It started with school matches. Because if you take match, when you enter match, there will be a lot of types of matches, right? So always follow that pattern to make your life easy, right? When you are working with any system, not only YOB. whatever system you are working with, make sure that you follow that pattern to make that sorting easy, right? So having that understanding, now you can see transaction set number, item set number 3, that hire. It's also a service, right? But you can see it is given in a different mode. It is now not given in a table. It's given as a sentence. In your paper, different types of, different approaches will be there. That's why it has given different ways of identifying the item. Sometimes it can be given as a sentence like this. Sometimes the items can be given within a paragraph as information in a paragraph. You have to pick the information and create the item, right? So it depends. Therefore, I'm training you for all the possible scenarios. You can see that hire. That hire is priced at 50 per hour, inclusive of that. And code will be SHR and BAT. Right? S means service, HR is hire, and BAT is back. Okay, so we'll create that service item. BAT hire income item we will create now. Right, so I'm creating a new item. Right. Service hire BAT, then BAT hire. That hire is the income, and then I sell this item. What should be the account? Income account. Equipment hire income, right? There's an account called equipment hire income. Select that account. And selling details, 50 rupees per hour, right? 50 rupees per hour. Now just a twisting question. This is a BAT hire, right? Do I buy this item? The item is BAT hire, trigger BAT. You know trigger BAT, right? BAT hire income. So I have not selected. I buy this item and I inventory this item. Is that correct? That is a physical item, right? You can. It has a physical existence. Any explanation from anyone? Should we include or we should? It's okay. Should be included. I buy this item should be included. Any idea? No? Why not? If no, why not? Yeah, you got the point. Thing is, of course, because BAT is a physical item, but BAT hire is not a physical. BAT hire is a service. They take the BAT and they return the BAT. Right? That BAT is working as an asset. Right? But we are not selling the BAT actually. We are selling that service. Okay, it's clear? When we are providing services, we will be using equipment, but that we are not selling that equipment. Okay. All right, clear? So BAT hire is a service, BAT is physical, that is true, but we are not selling the BAT. That is bought for a different purpose. It's asset. Okay. So that's why we are not selecting it. Now don't get confused yourself when you are looking at a particular item, right? Carefully look at that item, whether that is the item is a service or not. Okay. Then selling details are filled. Okay, so you can click the OK button. You can click the OK button. So the BAT hire income or BAT hire item is added. Then the item category number 4 is BAT repairs. Bat repairs is also a service item. The repairing service. Repairing service, the fee. Only sell this item. Right? Next item is bat repair service. Again, you have to be very clear. For bat repairing, we'll be using some material, right, to repair a bat. Now, the expense figured bats are real bat. I mean, branded bats are very expensive. Therefore, a small damage, you can't just throw them away. Sometimes you can repair and reuse, right? So, bat repair will include certain physical material, but the repair service cost, repair service fee is a service, right? So for that service, you are not buying anything or inventorying anything. You are just providing it and charging some money. Okay. Therefore, we will create that item as well. Okay. So this is the code. Bat repair is the name of the item. I sell this item only. And what is the suitable income account? Repair fees income. Right? There's an income account called repair fees income. Select that and click on use account. Selling details. What is the price? 250 per bat. Selling unit of measure is a bat. Right? Per bat. What is the rate? It's VAT inclusive. So let that information be the same. Base selling price is 250 and selling unit of measure is bat. Okay. All right. Yeah. Repair fees income. You have to select that. In the selling details, you have to change the selling base selling price and the selling unit of measure. Bat. That selling unit of measure field, it's not taken for calculation. It's just for reference. Right? So nothing you can bat each one hour the system cannot identify all this. They don't have AI. So it is just for our reference. Is it for bat? For a bat. Right. Okay. Then you can click OK. So you can see here, you have created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 items. All 7 items are service items. Okay. Then when you go to all items, they appear. When you go to sold tab, all these items appear because you are selling all this. When you go to bought, nothing appears. Inventory, nothing appears. The reason is none of these are inventory items. All these are service items. Okay. Right. Now, let's say you want to make any change in those items. Then you can use the same mechanism we use. In front of each item, there is what? So-called white zoom arrow. Right? You can use that white zoom arrow to go into any of these items and change anything. Right? You can change any information. Maybe the account details, maybe the selling prices, selling details. If you want to selling prices, you can change the selling prices. You can just come here and change the selling prices. Okay. All right. Clear? Now we are looking at inventory items. Okay. Inventory items. The meaning is these items we can keep in the inventory. If we can keep in the inventory, the meaning is we have to buy these items, right? We are buying these items, we are inventorying these items, and we are selling these items. So here, the coding system used for this particular case is given here. First character is used to show that it's an inventory item, right? So initially we had those that categorization, right? Service, raw material, or inventory, right? If it's an inventory item, the first letter should be I. Okay. And then the next block is there to show the type of income stream, right? Is it repair income? Then it's RP, right? If it's repair income, that goes as RP. And then the next three letters, next block of letters, that shows the specific category of the inventory. That is, in this case, GRP is there to show the grips, right? If it is, for example, HND, then meaning is handles. So like that, you can abbreviate and specify a category of inventory, right? And the last block, last three characters is the very specific characteristic of that item. For example, if it's made of rubber, then you mention it as RUB, rubber, right? Then if it's code, CRD, code, like that. Okay, very specific type is the last block of character. So this category, I mean, this definition is common for this particular case. In your organization or you are in your cases, you can identify depending on the suitability. But there should be a logic of all the items that you are using. Clear? Okay. Right. So shall we look at the first set of inventory items? These inventory items are used for repairs. Okay. So are we taking a break now or are we? Break your corner. Take a small break and then come. We can finish early if you come early. I don't take only 15 minutes and just come. So we can finish a little early. Then we will discuss how to create the site. Mark your attendance and now I mark your attendance and go. Mark your attendance and go to the break. Mark current make an attack current is 1 by 1 time and 1 mark. I will tell you what Now it should be working. It will go over current. Thank you. Oh, check it out. And then start. Why login नहीं करके करता है ये थोड़ी आंसर पानी में हमारे पहाड़ में बाप क्या number find it last reading. Yeah.
Fundamentals. It is not
Right. Okay, shall we start now? Otherwise, we are getting late. Okay. Right. Right. Let's start now. Now in our tune, we have inventory items. So we know the approach how to create items now. Right. We know the approach of how to create items, and compared to service items, now inventory items have a special feature that they are not only sold, they are bought, they are inventoried and then sold, right? So additional two details will come. The moment you select, I buy this item, the buying details column will also be available to fill, right? Tab. There is a tab called buying details, right? So those information will be also become available to fill, right? Now we will see how to create this. Now look at this first set of items. Inventory items repair. You can see the product name is given, and also there are some specification given about this product. This product is coming in boxes of 20, right? This is a handle, right? Because bats are having their handles. When they are broken, they are going to repair these handles. So when you are ordering handles, they come in boxes of 20 handles. That is the nature of retail business, right? You are buying in bulk, selling in units. So that is the business. So when you're buying, it's coming in 20 unit boxes. But when you are selling it, you are selling as individual items. So each item you are selling, right? Then that buying unit of measure should be very clearly defined when you are creating the item, because that unit or that number matters when you are invoicing, when you are purchasing, right? For example, when you enter, when you are buying as five items of that, system will multiply that 5 by 20. Because we are buying 20 boxes, 20 in a box, multiplied by 5 as the quantity. Then system will identify you are buying 100 items, right? It will multiply and identify. Therefore, that measure is important. That is the only difference actually. And then the buying cost, buying price is also given as a column, right? When you are given the buying price or buying cost, we usually do not enter that buying cost when you are creating the item, unless there is a very fixed reason. This cost will never change, right? Because buying price is determined by the suppliers usually. Suppliers may change the prices time to time unless you have an agreement. Usually the buying price may change time to time, right? But the selling price does not change unless we take a decision as a business, right? Therefore, when we are creating the item, even though it is given, we will not include the buying price. We will include only the selling price, but the buying unit of measure we have to. Yes, that is fixed, right? So having that understanding, you can see the other information in the item code. You know what is the item code, right? So we will create, I'll create one item, then with that experience, you can create all the items very conveniently. Only the first learning will take time. Then it's just a matter of doing the same, and also you can copy from the previous. That option is there, right? You can copy from the previous and quickly in 2 minutes you can create an item. Okay. So let me do the first one for you. So I'm going to create a new item. The item code is this inventory, repair, handle, and the specific nature is code, right? Code handle. So I include that item. Then the name is RP code handle. Right? Then I buy this item, I sell this item, and I inventory this item because it's an inventory item, right? I sell this item, you can see automatically the previously selected account is already selected. But we are going to change this because this income is coming through the repair income. Here you can see the 3 accounts you should select are given, right? Since you all are practicing, still you are learning, the 3 accounts are all given. In the examination, you won't be given this information. You will have to pick, right? So the income account should be repair piece income because you are going to use these items to repair. Okay. So we will select that repair piece income for the income account, right? And when you are buying it, the cost of sales account should be cost of material repairs. Okay. Cost of sales account should be cost of material repairs. So let me select that from the cost of sales accounts, cost of material repairs. Here you have that account. Okay. Select the cost of material repairs, and the inventory account is the General inventory account, right? No any specific category is given. Inventory is the general inventory account. You can search and find also, right? Account, if you know the specific name, you can search and find the account. And if you want to be very certain, you can use this drop down arrow and double check whether it's the right category and the right account is selected. General inventory. Use that account. Did you select these three? All right. Did you select these three? Then we'll anyway, we are not anyway entering anything in the item details. Now you can see the buying details tab is active because we are going to buy this item, right? So you go to that particular tab and then see the standard cost information you can enter, but we are not entering that standard cost information, as I told you. But the buying unit of measure information you have to enter for our reference and for calculation purpose, right? What is the buying unit of measure here? Box, right? Box. And also the number of items per buying unit of measure you have to mention here because these are inventory items, right? What is the number of items? In this particular case, how many units are there in the box? 20, right? So enter that 20 and this number 20 is taken for calculations. Therefore, you have to make it accurate. The term box is not taken for calculation, that is for referencing, but the number of items is taken for calculations. When you enter the volume as 5, when you are buying, system will multiply by 5 by 20. It will identify you are buying 100 items, right? Therefore, you have to carefully enter that. And the tax code when bought should be VAT. Mention that value added tax as the tax code. And then again go to the selling details. And what is the selling price of this code handle? 800 rupees. Okay. 800 rupees. And selling unit of measure is what? Now, are you selling it in boxes? You bought in boxes because you are retail. You bought in boxes. But when you are offering it to the customer, are you selling in boxes? No. You are using it to repair each batch, cricket bat, right? Each batch. So selling unit of measure should be each. And the number of items per selling unit is also 1, right? Okay. So the rest of the information is the same, VAT inclusive and all that. Then it's based on actual selling price. Then you can click on OK. Right. So you can see the RP code handle item is created. දාන්න නැත්තේ අපි ආයේ සප්ලයි එක වෙනස් කරනවා ප්‍රයිස් එක එක වෙනවා එක සප්ලයි එකකින් එක ගන්න කරනවා තව සප්ලයි එකකින් තව ගන්න කරනවා අයිටම් එකට කොමන් ප්‍රයිස් වර්ජන් ප්‍රයිස් එක අපි හිතාගත්තට සප්ලයිස් මේ කිව්ව ඩිෆරන්ට් ප්‍රයිස් then it is automatically filled when you are going to invoice it is automatically filled then the risk is if we forget to change it the wrong price is එදිට අපි අර change වෙන ඒවා fix කරගන්න නැහැ but selling price is fixed because we are selling Right. Now you can see this item is different, right? This item is different. Why? It is having the on-hand quantity as 0. The meaning is this is an inventory item. If you buy this, the quantity should be updated, right? In a service that doesn't happen, but since it's an item, your on-hand quantity should be updated when you buy that. And also the last purchase price is also updated because you're buying it, right? At the moment, both are 0. Clear? Now I just want you to go to different tabs. Sold tab, bought tab and inventory tab. Now you can see that item is appearing in both bought tab and the inventory tab, right? Bought tab and the inventory tab. It's having a link to the 3 ticks you put. I buy, I sell, I inventory. Those three ticks are linked to these three databases. Okay. Then now shall we create the rest of the similar items? The same thing you can copy from this easily. Just a matter of changing the price. Right? If the buying unit of measure is the same, selling unit of measure is the same. The only difference is item number, item name, and the selling price. Right? Using that approach, shall we complete quickly? Right, even the blades are having the same format. Blades, not only the handles, the blades are also having the same information. I mean, 20 boxes, 20 in a box, and the only retailing price should be included.
Yeah, now this will
All right, did you create the handles and blades? Okay, now we will look at the second set of inventory items. These are items for sale, right? Here you can see these are cricket shoes. Cricket shoes come in a pair of shoes, that pair. Now, is that how many should come as the buying unit of measure? The pair of shoes, pairs. Critical question. A pair of shoes. Then what should be the buying unit of measure? One or two? A very simple question. One, a pair of shoes. Two or one? It should be one, right? It's kind of. It's nothing tricky. It's one. The thing is, the product is having a pair. That is true, but the unit is one, right? It's like pair of scissors. You can have one. So its buying unit is one. Selling unit is also one. All right. So having that understanding, create those three items and look at the three accounts you have to select. Cost of sales account is not the cost of repairs, it's cost of goods sold, right? You have to change that account. And equipment sale income. Income account is equipment sale income. Inventory is the general inventory account. But these two accounts have to be changed. Cost of sales account and the income account. And also another thing, in creating items, there is a specific number of characters you can include in a row, right, in the field. When that space is not enough, you will have to remove certain words from the item name, right? When you are removing such items, make sure the special identity of this item is not compromised. Now, for example, platinum convertible Puma cricket shoe. This is too lengthy. I'm pretty sure you won't be able to enter this, right? When you are required to remove a word from, which word will you remove? Which word will you remove? Cricket shoe. Then platinum convertible Puma. If someone says it's cricket bag, if someone gets confused about it's a cricket bag, maybe. Pair you don't have to enter anyway. That is the buying unit of measure. You don't have to enter that. I'm talking about the product name. If you remove shoe, someone who doesn't know about what this product is, someone can get confused, right? If you remove platinum, then the brand, particular name is, you can't find the name. If you remove convertible, platinum convertible is a particular style name, right? You can't remove that. Puma you can't remove, then you can identify the brand, right? But if you remove cricket, still you know you are a cricket club. You are not selling, wedding shoes or something, right? It should be cricket shoes you are selling. Right? You can remove the word cricket like that. You can cut down the word, but make sure the meaning is not compromised. Then you know it's a shoe. The brand is there, item is IP is there. Cricket, the word, you know it's obvious, right? Do you understand? It's because if you can enter the full term, it's good. But unfortunately, in the software, you are given only a limit, right? Therefore, make sure you write it, include it practically. So I'm going to create a new item. Item number is this. Then when I try to enter this, you can see it's not permitted. The reason is it's too long. Okay. Then what I do is I take only this part. Platinum convertible Puma, and then I enter shoe. That I can enter. Right? Without the word cricket, I can enter that. That is enough. Then you have to originally pick the three accounts, right? I buy, I sell, and I inventory. I inventory is general inventory. I sell that should be the equipment sale income. Equipment sale income. I buy this item, the cost of sales account should be what? Cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold. Right? Then buying details, it should be each, not boxes, right? Each. And buying unit of number of items per buying unit of measure is 1. All right. Under the buying details tab, make that correction. It should be each and 1. And then the selling details, it's again each and 1. Then the price you have to set as 4,000 rupees. 4,000 rupees for the Puma convertible, platinum convertible Puma shoe. So that's it, right? So you can create that cricket shoe, and copying from that cricket shoe, you can create the other cricket shoe conveniently. Right, if you created right, if you created the shoes, 3 types of shoes, then you can go with the cricket bats. Okay, in cricket bats there are 4 types of cricket bats, and the buying unit of measure is DOZ is dozen. right? In a dozen, how many units are there? 12, right? 12 units are there in a dozen. Dusima kila kiyan single, right? Dozen. So there you have to enter the buying unit of measure as dozen and then number of items as 12. That's it. Okay. The selling details are there. And again, the cost of goods sold for the cost of, cost of sales account, and then equipment sale income for the income account and general inventory. Here there is a small printing mistake. Cost of sales account, in front of that there are two names, cost of material and cost of goods sold. You include that as the cost of goods sold, right? Because battery is a good, complete good that you are going to sell. The bold and highlighted one you have taken. Okay. Telling me, come on, each. 12. Telling each one. If you have enough space, you can include it, but if not, you can include it. I think space will be enough. No, doesn't mean not. That is just the measure. Right, see, under buying details, I have mentioned that as buying unit of measure as dozen, DOZ, and items is 12. Number of items per buying unit is 12, right? So that is the way you have to change it. And then under selling details, it's each and one. Because customer won't come and ask for dozens of bags, right? They will come and ask for a bag. It's each and one. Then the price you can change accordingly. Right? Right, if you've completed the cricket bats, then last category or last segment is cricket bags. Cricket bags have no any complexity, only that name length will have to be carefully handled. It bought as each, sold as each, right? Buying unit of measure is one, selling unit of measure is one because no any other detail given, right? So that way you can create the cricket bags easily. Again, the three accounts are cost of goods sold, equipment sale, and inventory. So you can just include those three. By unit of measure is each, and the number of items is one, right? Even in the selling also, selling unit is each and one. That is anyway the same, right? Now in naming the items, kids 2013 Kokamura cricket, if the length is not enough, you can remove the word cricket and you can just mention the bag. Okay. Now in this case, even if you remove the word cricket, that will not be enough. It is too long. Then for me, what I'm doing is I'm using this, right? And modifying this as, instead of gun and more, I am mentioning that as G and M, right? M bag, right? Original wheelie, G and M bag. That's how I have shortened the name of the product. Otherwise, it's too lengthy to include, right? selling unit of measure is 2,800. Sorry, the selling price. Selling price is 2,000. It's really hot inside. The AC is off.
I'll bring the All right. Did you enter all the items? Right? Did you enter all the items? Because back? Right. Now look at the items is. You can see certain items when you go to the all items tab. There are certain items you can see they are having on hand quantity and the last cost information. Right? The reason is they are having inventory, they are linked to inventory. Then when you buy these items, the inventory quantity will be updated. And the buying last cost information is there because you are buying these items. When you are buying these items, the last cost, last purchase price will be updated there. If you are not buying a particular thing, or if you are not buying, not inventorying a particular item, for those, that update is not there. Those are the service items. You can see at the bottom, you can see a set is there. That item list is the service items, right? So this can be carefully, I mean, clearly separately, you can see under these different tabs. Under sold, all appears. Under bought, only the inventory or physical items appear, products appear. And under inventories, you can see again the physical items appear, where you inventory, right? So you can see in front of all each and every item, you can see that white zoom arrow. if you want to change anything, modify anything inside these items, you can go into that right zoom arrow and change that. Now, for example, let's say the company is taking a decision to increase the prices, all the prices by 10%. Right? The company is making a decision to increase your selling prices of all the items by 10%. Right? Then what you can do is you can have an Excel sheet multiplied by 10% and have the column. Now you have the item and the price, right? Then that prices should be updated in the IOB company file, right? That is the task given to you for the accountant, right? Now what you are going to do? How you are going to do with this understanding? You will go to each and every item with the white zoom arrow. For example, let's say this item's price is changing, right? So you go into this and then you go to the selling details. There you have the base selling price information, so that you will include the updated price. 3,200, 10% increase price, you are adjusting it here and you will click OK. Right? So that is the approach you can follow. But that you can do for this type of a short items list. Right? If that decision is for 1,000 or 2,000 items, so that is going to take significant time. Right? Then there is a convenient way, because this decision is very common in organization. Price increases. Therefore, there is another function given in this inventory command center. So we'll close this. We'll close this function and set item prices. There is a function called set item prices in the same inventory command center, right? When you click on that function, you can see your entire items list appears, and in front of that, the current price is appearing as editable. You can see each price is appearing as editable. So you don't have to open each and every item one by one, right? So your effort is significantly saved. So you can just look at the item and change the price. Only the prices should be changed. Then individual items will be automatically updated, because this column is linked to that database, that particular field of each item, right? So like that, there are options are there to save your energy and to make the process efficient, right? So that's it. Right, you can click OK. All right, so that's it for the day. And now in our company file, we have the supplier and the items, right? Our next step is we are now going to start the purchasing process. These are the prerequisites to start the purchasing process. We have suppliers, we have items. Now we are going to call for quotations and place order. But you have learned exam, right? Okay. Then take your company files as backup. I hope you change the name of the company file with your student number, because this is my company file I have given to you. And make sure, please, make sure you take this company file to your own email or something where you can download and take it back. Right? If you are keeping the same backup in here, I mean, you are just ignoring the security features, right? Your company file doesn't have a security. Right? Because it can be deleted by someone. Therefore, make sure you take that backup procedures. Right. Okay. Right. Thank you.